I want to share with you 3 simple mantras which will get you through the most difficult situations in life, and which will just help you in general with any sort of situation. Now, these 3 I often chant, and these are probably my most favorite mantras, and a lot of people probably know which ones they are if you've been following my work for a while. But I believe all 3 are very powerful and can help you just concentrate your mind and bring yourself back into presence without getting too caught up with what's happening in the external world or happening in just your personal life in general. The first mantra is Om Namah Shivaya. Now, Om Namah Shivaya obviously is very popular, one of the most popular mantras in the world, especially in India. And I often recite Om Namah Shivaya when I first wake up in the morning before meditation and when I'm just giving gratitude to the world. But Om Namah Shivaya, when we translate that, kind of means adoration to Shiva, or adoration to Shiva as the representation of Brahman. So basically what you're saying is adoration to the ultimate reality, the source of existence, call it Brahman, Tao, but in this context it's Shiva because it is a Shiva mantra. So why is this important to say? First of all, Om Namah Shivaya is like giving thanks for everything, giving thanks for the world. So being grateful for what you have. And that's one of the reasons I chant it in the morning, just to be grateful for the simple things that I have in my life, in my immediate life, be that my relationships or a certain situation I may be in and so forth and so on. So as I said, Om Namah Shivaya, so you are in adoration to Shiva, like, thank you, thank you, thank you, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. And this is even more important in the most difficult times in your life. So it's important to remember that even when you might have a bit of a prickly situation, maybe recite in your mind, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, thank you for this experience that I'm experiencing. I need to experience this so I can grow and be better. Now, you don't want to get too crazy with this. I mean, like if there is an immediate threat or, something very tragic has happened in your life, you're probably not going to be concerned about Om Namah Shivaya. But you may be. But just for the ordinary things that we usually come across, the difficulties that we have in our life, Om Namah Shivaya is great because it can center you. It brings you back into gratitude, even in the most difficult situations. The boss may be yelling at you, telling you to go back to your desk and whatever, and you're worthless, and Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Adoration to Shiva, adoration to Shiva. Thank you for this experience. I learned quite a lot. See, what you're doing psychologically is you're taking the negative out of this experience and you're turning it into something positive that hopefully will help you grow. That's what you're doing. Om Namah Shivaya. You can chant this even when you have a good experience. You know what I mean? An experience that you feel is good. You can say, Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But it's one of the best mantras in the world to bring you back into your center and just to keep you from being pulled emotionally into the world. Om Namah Shivaya. Before you get emotionally pulled in the world, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Don't say it aloud. People think you're crazy. Say it internally in your mind, and this will help you from not being pulled. 2 people may be in an argument and you may be the unfortunate third wheel, and then as they're arguing, they're trying to drag you into the conversation. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Doesn't matter how stupid you look. You don't need that karmic stock to accumulate through all of this emotional turmoil. So remember, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Always with the gratitude, always with the gratitude. Grateful, you have this life. That's the blessing in itself. A lot of people make a mistake of thinking being blessed is to have a lot of money and cars and fame and fortune. This is nonsense. The blessing is to have life itself. You're alive. I mean, think about how weird that is, but also how wonderful that is. You're alive. And we're experiencing this together. Om Namah Shivaya. The second mantra I want to speak to you about is one of the most powerful mantras and one of the most important mantras within Vedanta. It's actually a Mahavakya. A Mahavakya is like one of the most important sayings within Vedanta and within Hinduism in general. And this is tatvamasi. Tatvamasi. Tatvamasi, we can translate that as that art thou, or thou art that. Now what that means is I am that, or specifically I am Brahman, meaning the Atman is Brahman. So the undifferentiated consciousness within me and you and everyone else is Brahman. Now, one of the things with this one is when you say tatvamasi, 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 you don't want to go overboard with this, and you need to understand it a little bit better. And that's what I'll explain to you here, because a lot of people take this to the nth degree, this phrase, and then they don't have any sort of deeper understanding of it, and then all sorts of problems can occur. So when you have a difficult situation, you need to remember that everything is Brahman. Now, the best way to remember that is obviously tatvamasi, but when you think about tatvamasi, you can also start to recite it in English, if English is a language you speak. There's a few ways to say this. So you can say, everything is Brahman and I am that. Now, if you feel uncomfortable with saying you are Brahman because you may be thinking of I in a sense of egohood, then maybe it's better for you to say, everything is Brahman and I am a part of that. So either one is good. Now, this is very good when you have a lot of difficult situations. So, for example, if there's a lot of problems going on and so forth and so on, you recite to yourself, everything is Brahman and I am that. Everything is Brahman and I am that. Everything is Brahman and I am a part of that. I often use this when I'm walking around the city, just as a sort of a form of meditation, because city is very noisy and chaotic. I'll just walk through the city and recite to myself, everything is Brahman and I am that, or everything is Brahman and I am part of that, constantly. Or just say tatvamasi, tatvamasi, tatvamasi. This is a very good mantra to keep you mindful of everything around you and to have your awareness completely present. This is why it's very important. So also this translates into difficult situations that you may encounter, because obviously the emotional pull, always trying to pull you out emotionally. Life is, that's what life's about. It's about pulling you out emotionally, and we are emotional creatures. So we need to understand tatvamasi, tatvamasi, tatvamasi. Everything is Brahman. So all of this turmoil is still Brahman, and I am that. I'm a part of that. All of this is Brahman. But you don't want to make any sort of schizoid split in your head between, your ego and Brahman and so forth and so on. Use it very practically. And in using it very practically, you start to understand the deeper levels of that mantra. So as I said, when you're walking in crowds and you're in busy areas, this is one of the best mantras to use. And to use it either in its Sanskrit form or in English form. And I know people will say, yeah, but isn't English form I am that? But we can actually, if you need to explain it fully, Sanskrit is a lot more of a nuanced language than English. We have to explain a lot more. So everything is Brahman and I am that. Just slowly recite that when you're in the hustle and bustle of life. This grounds you fully in presence, even in the most difficult situations. It's not really about gratitude or anything like this. It's more so about grounding yourself in that present moment so you can actually see the world as it truly is, from the place that you truly are. Not wound up in this prefrontal cortex and this person who's dissecting between this and that, but within the heart, which is that Atman, that is Brahman, which is the core of the mantra tatvamasi. The last mantra that I want to mention to you is a little longer, but it's easy to recite in the mind if you remember it. Now, this is the 3 jewels of Buddhism. Now, you've probably heard this a lot if you've been to a Buddhist temple, or if you've been to Bodh Gaya, or if you've been to Lumbini, all of these important Buddhist places, then you would have heard the 3 jewels of Buddhism. Now, the 3 jewels of Buddhism in Pali or in Sanskrit go like this. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Now, what these three lines mean is Buddham saranam gacchami means I take refuge in the Buddha. Dhammam saranam gacchami means I take refuge in the Dharma. And Sangham saranam gacchami means I take refuge in the Sangha. Now, there are a few ways that you can take that. Obviously, if you are a Buddhist, you would take this specifically for what it is. You take refuge in the Buddha, in the Dharma, and in the Sangha. But most of us who are watching are probably not Buddhists, but have an interest in Buddhism. And how this can help you and how we can translate this is that I follow the path of the Buddha. So you follow the path of peace, compassion, and forgiveness. You follow that path of peace. And I am dedicated to the Dharma. I'm dedicating to the teachings of the Buddha. And the third line, humanity is my Sangha, or humanity is my community. So this is how you can think about it. And you can actually change this into English where you say, I follow the path of the Buddha. The Dharma teachings are my way of life. Humanity is my community. So think about that. I follow the path of the Buddha. The Dharma teachings are my way of life. Humanity is my community. So you can say that, or you can actually say the Pali or the Sanskrit if you want. But the good thing about this is you have complete gratitude to life, complete gratitude and actually a reverence to life, a respect and an honor that we don't really see a lot these days. But if you do embody that and you do imbibe that, then that really does show in the world, because not many people are like this, and we need more people like that in the world. So what you are saying here is that you are extremely grateful. You're grateful that an enlightened being came before you. You are grateful that you have the opportunity to follow the path of peace and the teachings of peace. And also you are so grateful that you are part of this human community. What a community it is. What a outrageous and inspiring and tragic and joyful community it is. That's what you're imbibing in this mantra. And this can get you out of any situation because you are just so grateful that you have this opportunity to live life. So when you're in that situation, recite that mantra, that 3 jewels of Buddhism in your mind. And that has the ability to get you out of any situation that you think you're absorbed in. It'll help you refrain from being emotional in the world and help you refrain from being emotional in any situation that is trying to call you to be emotional. So it has that ability to do that. And so this mantra is very helpful. It gives you respect on all levels. It allows you to respect a person, and in this sense the Buddha, the enlightened one, and it also gives you a respect of the great teachings that have been passed down for thousands of years, which is the Dharma in this sense, the Buddhist teachings, and it also allows you to have great respect for the Sangha. And the Sangha for us is humanity. Humanity is our Sangha, and we are grateful to be part of this humanity. We are not different to it. We are not alien. We are part of this humanity, and I am so grateful to be part of it, and that I have an opportunity to follow the path of peace to help our brothers and sisters by following the teachings of Dharma. And so these 3 mantras, like I said, will help you through any difficult situation in life. It allows you to have gratitude for the life you have, but it also helps you have respect for other people and also an appreciation of life that a lot of people don't have. You know, we often get caught up in the world and we forget that our life is naturally good. And these 3 mantras will always remind you that, hey, you know what? Even though I'm going through a lot of crap at the moment, life is great. Life is great. And what a privilege it is to experience this life. That's what these mantras do. It allows you to have that appreciation that no matter what's going on in this life, no matter what's going on in your life, peace and joy are always there. They're in the background, and we forget that our nature is peaceful and joyful. Ananda, bliss. We forget that. They're in the background. And what happens is when we practice with these mantras, we always understand and recognize, hold the phone here, even though I'm emotional about this and that, I need to rope this in and understand that my nature is peaceful and joyful. My nature is bliss. So why am I acting like a damn fool? And the way to correct acting like a damn fool is to chant these mantras and to realize that the life you have is a great privilege and a wonderful opportunity to inspire others and also to experience that bliss and hopefully reach enlightenment in this life. Shanti, shanti, shanti.